And we're going to go ahead and get started with some belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. So if this is familiar to you, go ahead and just start doing it. Otherwise, if you want to place a hand over your belly so you can feel the rise and fall of your abdomen, that would be perfect. So what we want to go for here is we notice the rise of our abdomen on the inhale and the collapse of the abdomen on the exhale. Inhale, feeling that expansion. Exhaling, feeling it sink. And with every exhale, I want you to imagine that you are getting heavier and heavier with each exhale, okay? We're gonna be here for about 5 minutes, just sinking into the breath. I'm not going to necessarily guide you through the inhales and exhales, but the exhale, you want to try to lengthen the exhale. You can get more structured with this if you'd like, perhaps counting the inhale 1, 2, and then that exhale, I want you to make it longer than the inhale. This part's important because again, we're trying to boost the parasympathetic nervous system. So lengthen that exhale, maybe for a count of 4. And as you use the breath to anchor yourself into space, I want you to now bring your attention to the points of contact with your body and your clothes. So feeling where you feel the clothes on your body, where you don't feel the clothes on your body. Those are points of contact. And then the most important point of contact is your body and this earth. So feeling the parts of your body that are connected to the ground. And just hang out here. I'm going to keep talking you through this for this portion. When we think about an anchor, it's just a place that we come home to when we get distracted, which is inevitable. So we have 2 anchors, either using the breath as a place to return to, or now these points of contact with your body and the ground. You can also use my voice to anchor back. And I'll mention once more that we are making sure that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Following the rhythm of your breath. Not forcing anything. We'll be here just focusing on this belly breath for about 1 more minute. Seeing if we can lengthen and elongate that exhale once more. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to bring your attention now back to the points of contact with your body and the ground. And we're now going to get into this visualization. So I want you to picture in your mind's eye that you are a tree. Any kind of tree. Whatever comes to mind is perfect. And the points of contact with your body and the ground is your root system. This root system is the theme of tonight's talk. So imagining that these points of contact with your body and the ground, they're growing roots deep into the floor beneath you, deep into the earth. You can imagine that penetrating through the ground. And with every exhale, you can imagine that your roots are getting deeper, stronger, anchoring you into the ground, allowing you to become heavier, steadier, more stable. And then we'll zoom out from the roots for a moment. Go back to seeing you as the tree. And I'm going to try to integrate all 5 senses here. So I want you to just get a sense of what the weather's like. Is it warm? Is it breezy? Are there clouds? I want you to feel the temperature of the space. And then notice maybe what you hear. Maybe there's birds chirping. Maybe the wind is rustling the leaves on your tree. Maybe there's a water source nearby. You could hear the trickling of water, perhaps. There is no should here, just whatever first comes to mind, and really bringing this to life. And on your tree, I want you to notice, what is the texture like of the bark? Is it thick? What is the pattern? How big are you? Are you a big tree? Are you a big oak tree? Or maybe just a little seedling? But just noticing those qualities here. And then I'll ask you to integrate the sense of smell. Is it fresh air? Is there a scent of a season, perhaps? We just got into fall weather here. And just noticing what that's like. I'll take you back to your breath once more before we get back into more of the visualization. So again, with every exhale, you are getting more deeply rooted in space, steady, stable, strong. And then we come back to the scene of you as the tree. And in this process, you will naturally be distracted by thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations. And for tonight, your thoughts, feelings, worries represent weather. And whatever just came to your mind is what I want you to go with. But this may be wind. That's, perhaps rustling the leaves again or the branches. It could be rain. It could be snow. So just seeing whatever thoughts, feelings that come up, we are symbolizing them as weather patterns. I want you to watch them. Maybe label them if you'd like, but I want you to focus on what that feels like in your body. We are not, and I cannot stress this enough, we are not thinking about our thoughts. We are feeling, metabolizing it through our body, coming into contact with it, and then allowing the earth to absorb it. So just noticing the quality. Sometimes we have positive thoughts, positive feelings. Maybe those represent other weather patterns. Feeling the quality of what that feels like. Again, not getting lost in the content of the thoughts. We are just observing. Oftentimes, weather, storms in particular, are going to shake our leaves, maybe even our branches. Strong storms may even break our branches. Maybe our whole trunk might be swaying with big emotions or difficult thoughts, but they do not impact our root system. Our root system is untouched by these weather patterns. We also know that the storms, rain, moisture, any kind of precipitation are exactly what allows us to grow into big, strong, wise trees. So if we want to grow from our seedling form, we must endure the weather. So I'm asking you to let go of the resistance. Do not run. Do not resist. Open to it. And if I could ask you to pick a thought, pick a feeling that comes up. Watch how your body responds when I say to open up to the feeling. We let go of the resistance. Feel the pressure release in your body. Notice what that feels like, that release of pressure. Perhaps most importantly, we know and trust that the storm will pass. So this idea that we must surrender to the weather, again, if we want to grow big and strong, and it gets a little scary, a little dicey at times. But remember that our root system is not affected by whatever kind of weather we're experiencing. So this is the process for tonight. We are going to be going back and forth between feeling into our root system through visualization and through the points of contact with your body in the ground, and then we will get distracted by thoughts and feelings. So when the thought and feeling shows, we open to it, feel it in our bodies, and send it back into the earth, where it will ultimately fertilize the soil for your roots to grow deeper. I'm going to stop talking for a bit here, but I will periodically anchor you back. If the visualization of the roots feels insufficient, you can anchor back to the physical sensation of your body and being held and supported by the earth beneath you. You can also use the breath as an anchor. And again, the sound of my voice. Each time you come back to your roots, I want you to see them grow more strong, more stable, more elaborate, more secure. Come back to your roots. Come back to being held, supported by the ground, by the earth. You're safe. You might notice with this weather watching parts of the body that become tense, see if you can let go and release that into the earth as well. This works best, working it out on the exhale. Releasing that tension on the exhale. Perhaps getting curious about the weather. If it's rain, noticing what that feels like, what that sounds like. Curiosity is the antithesis to suffering. The more curious we can be, the more open-minded we can be, the easier it is to let go. Come back to your root system. You may experience this as a pendulation of sorts, going back and forth between our anchor, our root system, and the weather, our thoughts and feelings. The ability to notice our thoughts and feelings and to re-anchor. That re-anchoring process is our strength. This is how we get stronger over time. You may also choose, as opposed to simply observing, to perhaps pick a difficult feeling or thought and decide to work with it. If you choose to do that, perhaps it's anxiety about something, perhaps it's an event that has happened in the past and we continue to revisit it. Pick it up and open to that experience. When I say open to that experience, I mean feel it viscerally in your body. As humans, our knee-jerk reaction is to resist. We don't like anything that doesn't feel comfortable. But for this practice, we may decide that we do want to come into contact with it so that we can have this practice of opening and then letting it go, letting it be metabolized in the body. I fundamentally believe that we have to feel the experience in order to really move past it. And that's why I have you anchoring into the felt experience of your body and this earth, because the earth can absorb it. The earth can hold it, hold you. To give you a sense of where we're going, we have a few more minutes of this practice. So enjoy it while it's here. Nothing else to think about, nowhere else to be besides this moment. If you're really caught up in thoughts, you might even picture inscribing the content of the thoughts on the leaves or the branches. If you really want to try to anchor your mind into the visual. Come back to your roots again. With every exhale. And I want you to notice how your root system has shifted and evolved over the course of this short practice. I'd also be curious how your tree itself has grown and been shaped over time. Perhaps you lost some branches in this exercise. That's okay. If we zoomed in, we could see the rings in this tree and the growth that's happened. I'll remind us that we have already said yes to this life. So when we say yes to life, that means we say yes to the weather patterns. And if we say yes to the weather patterns, that means what is required of us is a surrender to that experience. We don't know when the storm will pass. We just know that it does. And before I transition us back into the real world, I'll ask you to try to bottle up this feeling, this steadiness, this stability in your body. To bottle up that profound knowing, that profound trust and surrender. And then I'll ask for whatever imagery you have currently to imagine that the clouds are passing, opening to clear sky. I think one of the best smells on earth is after the rain stops. And that clear air, how good that feels, how good that smells. And to thank your body, thank your tree for taking care of you. Thank this earth, thank this soil for offering its consistent, steady container. So I'll ask you on the next breath to fully inhale, starting from the diaphragm, into the chest cavity, holding at the top, and then slowly let go one last time. You can start to wiggle your toes, your hands. Before you open your eyes, take inventory of the space that you are in, the sounds, the light that's hitting your eyelids, And only when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, that's what I have for you all tonight. Thanks for joining me.